All right, so let's talk a little bit about this news. You've contracted with 3 companies on 3 very large, very powerful rockets that are still under development, as I just mentioned. How did these deals come together, and what is the price tag?
Well, we're going to be committing billions of dollars for these launch partners. It's a great day for them and for us at Amazon, but most importantly, as you mentioned, for Kuiper, because we're getting one step closer to being able to bring broadband to underserved and non-served customers around the world. We looked at these vehicles because they are large vehicles, and they have the ability to bring the amount of mass that we need to bring to orbit in a very efficient manner, and that, along with the 9 Atlas Vs that we had contracted earlier, gets us well on the way to being able to deploy the entire constellation.
Yeah, you've been developing these satellites for the last couple of years. What is the timetable for these launches? When does that service become a reality?
Yeah, our goal is to get a couple prototype satellites up the end of this year, early next, and that'll give us a lot of learning about what we don't know, having not put anything into space for Amazon before. And then, assuming that goes well, our goal is by summer of 2026 to have half the constellation up. And so that's a little more than 1,600 of the satellites. If you backed up from there, we should be able to launch a service when we get hundreds of satellites up. So we don't have an exact date. A lot depends on how the prototypes go, but we're pretty excited about making progress today.
Can you give us any kind of sense on what the pricing for the service will look like when that happens in 2026?
No, I think we're going to price it, though, affordably. Everything you think about Amazon, whether it's AWS, we've lowered prices proactively for enterprise customers hundreds of times. What we do on our website every day, what I do in my own organization with Fire TV and Kindle, it's about making sure we give value to customers. And Kuiper's no different. We want to make sure that we're going to have a great value for fixed broadband, not only here in the U.S., when there's lots of underserved customers here in the U.S., but also around the globe.
Yeah. How does Project Kuiper fit into that broader Amazon strategy? And I ask that because I know you've come on CNBC in the past and talked about connected home and connected autos and sort of this golden age, if you will, in terms of these ambient intelligence-based technologies. So how does Kuiper continue to fortify that?
Well, as I've said, our home, if the pandemic has taught us one thing, is that our home has been transformed. It's now more often than not our movie theater. It's the place where we're learning to cook. It's our school in many cases. And a lot of that is systemic coming out of the pandemic. It's going to continue. And so there's nothing more important to make that a reality than proven and efficient and high-speed connectivity. And there are just so many places, just here in the United States, where homes don't have that connectivity. So if we want to pursue the long-term vision of making your house work harder on your behalf, we need to make sure it has that connectivity. And Kuiper is going to be one great option for customers where they might not have a lot of options today. They might be running DSL on copper that was put in the ground in the 40s and the 50s, and they really have no opportunity to upgrade to something that's higher speed.
I mean, a lot has been made of the competitive landscape for space-based broadband service. SpaceX's Starlink, which is currently the farthest along in its broadband service offering, gets a lot of attention, but you have others in the works as well. Is the market big enough for everyone?
Yeah, I don't think this is a sporting event, Olympic race where there's going to be only one winner. If you look at the global segment for the number of people that need broadband, it's measured in the billions with a B. And so these constellations are going to be valuable. There's not going to be one winner. I think that Starlink will be successful. I also think Kuiper will be successful. And customers having choice is one of the most important things that is foundational as Amazon is giving customers those choice. And therefore, they're going to get more value as they go along.
Yes.